Hi, you guys. I just want to make you aware that the Game Exposed podcast now has their merchandise available. You can check out the link in the podcast description. There's hoodies, there's sweatpants, there's t-shirts, there's cool hats. So go check it out. Link is in the podcast description. And follow Yaz on Instagram at dating_advice_Yaz. Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. Today I want to talk about a podcast about exes. Why are you missing your ex? So many people struggle with breakups. So many people can't get their ex out of their head. Okay? And it takes some people a long time, sometimes years, to get over somebody. But what you really need to do, you guys, is you really need to check your thinking and say to yourself, why am I missing my ex? Is it that you're missing your ex, or are you missing the feeling that you had with your ex? You see what I'm saying? Like, for instance, when you're dealing with your ex and you're thinking about all the good times that you had with them, you're looking at one aspect of the relationship, and maybe you're blocking or not taking into account all the negative things in your relationship. Let's say that the sex was fantastic. Let's say that when they were good, they were really good. And this is what you're focusing on. Let's say that they brought up things that maybe they ask you about your kids, or they seem like they care when you were going through a hard time or something, and you're thinking about how, they really cared about me, right? But now, let's think about the fact that they didn't love you enough to try to work it out with you. They didn't care enough, and they broke your boundaries. This is what I'm trying to tell you, because it's not so much that, what you're doing, rather, what I'm trying to say, you guys, is basically you didn't see them for who they really were. And you're having a hard time with that, because you're only seeing what you played up in your mind of who you thought they were and where you thought you were going with them. That you thought you were going to be in this long romantic relationship, that they were the one. They were, quote unquote, a soulmate, okay? Now, I don't necessarily believe in soulmates. I believe that there are, people could have different people in their life that they could, end up with and be happy, all right? So never think that there's just one person in this world that you could be happy with. But the reason I'm doing this is that a lot of people, they get caught up in the emotional side. They think about all those great feelings that they had with that person, and they don't really step back from it and see that person for who they were. They didn't look at that person's character. Because here's the thing, you guys. In order to love somebody, you have to like who they are. Do you like who that person is? Do you like the fact that that person may have ghosted on you at times? That person didn't show you attention some of those times? That person could just walk away so coldly? All right? This is something that you have to understand. When somebody really cares about you, they're not going to take a chance of losing you. They're not going to be able to stand the thought of you with somebody else, okay? Now, a lot of times, people walk away from you because maybe they feel like you're not going anywhere, okay? And I had a question from a woman on my Instagram who said, how do you handle exes that come back? Well, you got to understand something. If they came back, it's not necessarily because they came back because they missed you or they realized that you're the one. They came back probably for other reasons. It could be for their ego even, to see if you're still sweating them. Okay, that's one reason. Or maybe they're going through a low time and they feel like, oh, let me hit you back and everything like that. Or maybe they're just looking for sex with you on the side. A lot of people are still having sex with their exes because they just can't break away. All right. They still have that tie going on and they can't break away. So, in order to really heal and move on, you've got to be able to stand on your own. Okay? This is another thing I want to bring up too. All right? You get involved in relationships. Let's say you start a new relationship and, everything is feeling great. That person is showing you attention and it's going really well. What happens? What happens next? You start to lose yourself, right? You start to, become, in a sense, attached to somebody. Not necessarily being attached. It depends on who you are. But what I'm trying to say is this. Whether you're in a relationship or you're not in a relationship, you have to have your own identity, okay? Because you don't know what can happen in this world. People that are married for 20, 30 years break up. And guess what? Now they're left on their own to either start all over. Sometimes they have to start all over with kids. Sometimes they don't have kids and they have to start all over. So it becomes really hard for the person who has lost their identity. What does that mean, lost their identity? In a sense, it's kind of like that you didn't have your own life, that you were so codependent on that other person and your life was so entwined with that other person that you lost yourself. That, when that person walks out of your life, it hits you harder because maybe you don't have your own friends that you used to do things with. Maybe you were dependent on them financially. Maybe you weren't used to being on your own and doing things on your own. You always did things with them. So now you're left in a situation where you have to do them on your own. And what is it? It becomes scary. It becomes scary because now you're out in that world and you feel very much alone. Sometimes it could cause you to be depressed. So you have to build up your inner strength, okay? And even if you go into a relationship, like even me, even though I'm in a relationship, I'm not going to lose my own identity, okay? And this is what I've done and other people have done in the past. You become too entwined with that other person to the point where if that person walks out of your life, you crumble. You crumble, okay? And this is why we talk about self-love all the time. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. Yes, you have to love yourself, but it's about respecting yourself. It's about having boundaries. It's about not worrying about what the other person thinks, but what you think. What you fucking think, all right? So, we're all sitting here trying to make somebody else happy, and we're sacrificing our own happiness to try to make that other person happy because we feel that if we make that other person happy, that's what fulfills our happiness. Okay? If you could follow that, all right? But what I'm trying to say is, this is why I tell you guys all the time, when you get involved with people and there's emotions involved. See, a lot of people are ruled by their emotions without using their head and seeing somebody for who they are. When somebody gives you red flags, you're not really, you don't want to center on those red flags. You want to center on that great feeling, that oxytocin feeling that person is giving you when they tell you they love you and everything like that. You want to just get that high off that. And instead of saying, you know what, let me just step back a little bit. Let me give it time and let me make sure that this person really is what I want them to be, okay? They really can fulfill what I need in a partner, all right? So this is why I'm talking about breakups and all of that. Now, I want to bring up another point, okay? A lot of times you're still missing your ex because you don't have something happening in your life at that time, okay? Maybe you don't have other options at that time. Maybe, you're bogged down with kids or work or something like that. And, you're dealing with the everyday grind and it's getting to you, okay? and you wish that you had somebody. That's why a lot of times when people are out, initially dating, and somebody could just walk away from you. Let's say you're dating somebody and they could just walk away from you. You know why a lot of times they could walk away from you? Because they have somebody else on the side. Because a lot of times people have backups. And this is what people don't understand. Because when they're dating somebody, they're saying, oh, we were having such a great time and everything like that. I don't understand why they don't want to move, they don't want to move forward in the relationship, or, why they're stepping back from me. You know why? Because either, number one, they're not 100% sold on you, or they think they could do better, or they saw something in you that might have bothered them and maybe they didn't bring it up to you. Because a lot of times if you're dating somebody and they're backing off from you, it could be something that they saw that maybe they're not 100% sold on, all right? Or it could just be that they have other things going on the side, all right? So what I'm trying to say with regard to exes and breakups is it's going to hit somebody who doesn't have other things going on for them on the side. Not that you had people on the side, okay? Although I know people that have done that. But what I'm trying to say is, if you're somebody that put your whole heart into something and you were involved with somebody and you depended on that person as your sole point of happiness, when that person or that breakup happens, that's going to hit you 100 times harder if you don't have other things going on in your life, okay? And this is why when you break up from somebody or something like that, you have got to get busy, okay? One of the best things you could do after a breakup is you gotta kind of ride through it, you guys. You got to ride through that uncomfortable period, and you have to keep in your mind and say to yourself, you know what? Yeah, I'm going through a hard time right now, but it's not going to be like this forever. It's not going to be like this forever. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to center on me. I'm going to center on being the best version of me. I'm going to start to help myself to be healthy and look good. I'm going to work on my financial aspect of my life and build up my finances. I'm going to center around my friends and family, and I'm going to get busy. And I know that if I leave myself open and I put myself in the right places around the right people, I will eventually meet somebody that's going to be a better fit for me. So here's another point I want to bring up. Don't waste your time with people that aren't right for you. That's why I bring up my podcast, Your Cutoff Game Has to Be Fierce. Because the worst thing you can do in life, and take it from me, because I'm living proof of this, all right? I've been married. I've been divorced. I've done a lot, you guys, and I have enough experience to tell you that one of the worst things that you could ever do is waste your life away with the wrong person, okay? So you got to nick that right in the beginning. When you see somebody is not 100% sincere with you in trying to get to know you, or somebody's starting to play games with you, you give them one chance, one warning. If they start to play games with you, and if they do it again or something, you've got to walk away. Because if you don't walk away, you're going to be a sucker. And that's how people end up in bad relationships. Because then the person knows that your word means shit and they could do whatever they want to you. Okay? So I had to bring that point up. I just wanted to add that as a little tidbit. The other thing is when people get together and they take a break and everything. All that business of taking a break is a joke. All right? It's a joke. If somebody says to you, oh, let's take a break, that's an easy way of putting you on the fucking side so they could see if there's something better, okay? Don't ever let somebody treat you like that, all right? If somebody really cares about you, they're going to hash it out with you. They're not going to take a chance of you being with somebody else. And the other reason that take a break is not good is because when you come back, you took a break, and now you're going to be fighting about who that person was with and who you were with and who were you talking to and this and that, and it's going to cause a lot of problems. It's not good, you guys. So, I don't want to get off topic here, but the point I'm trying to say is Why are you missing your ex? You're missing your ex because you're missing that feeling that you had with your ex. And you have to stop that, and you have to look at life for what life is, all right? And you have to look at people and their human nature and see them for who they truly are. And a lot of people don't get this till they've been away from that person. They've had more experience. They've stepped back, maybe sometimes it takes people a couple of years to get it. And then they look back on their ex and they say, what was I thinking? Okay, what was I thinking? I did not see this person for who they truly were, okay? And you know what you do? You start to feel guilty and stuff like that, and you get mad at yourself. You get mad at yourself because you didn't see them for who they were. But you can't get mad at yourself. You were going through something at the time. All right. A lot of times when you feel like that, maybe it was a vulnerable time in your life and you got involved with the wrong person. You thought they were something that they weren't. And, you can't be hard on yourself. This is all part of life. Okay. It's a learning experience. Your pain is your lesson, as they say. So, you learn from it and you don't make the same mistakes when you move on to the next relationship. So, you guys, the best thing you could do is center on yourself and what you need to do for yourself, and to keep yourself busy and to put yourself out there in the right places so that you can meet the right people. Because a lot of times when people say to me, oh, it's so hard to meet somebody, the first thing I ask them is, where are you meeting them? Where are you putting yourself? And a lot of times they'll say on the dating app. And then I go through the whole thing about the dating apps, about, the dating apps are a shark pit, okay? I'm not saying you can't meet somebody on a dating app, but I'm saying you're dealing with probably half the people on a dating app are either married or in relationships already. It's a playground for cheaters. Then you got the scammers. Then you have, if you do have people that are single, they may be just looking to have sex and have fun, but they're telling you they want to be in a relationship, okay? So, you're putting yourself in a spot that, you have to be careful. Plus, you have to worry about a lot of predators on dating apps as well, because it's a playground for predators. It's a playground for people that try to get over on people. That's why you have to, look at other aspects and branch out. I mean, you can meet people on social media. It's not necessarily a dating app. And people say, well, that's the same thing. No, it's not. No, it's not. Meeting somebody, let's say, for instance, on Facebook is a lot different than meeting somebody on a dating app. A dating app, you're on a dating app, they already know that you're on there, and in a sense, you're kind of desperate to try to find somebody you're on a dating app. When you meet somebody on, let's say, social media, you're there for other reasons, okay? Excuse me. So it's like, you're not giving off that vibe like, I got to meet somebody, all right? And you're not also surrounded by all of the insincere people as well. I mean, you could have insincere people on other social media, but it's different, you guys. Dating apps are a shark pit, all right? I got to do a whole thing about if you go on a dating app, how to do it if you got to do it, all right? How to weed through. But I just wanted to get back and talk about this because there's a lot of people struggling with breakups, a lot of people that have told me they can't get their ex out of their head and everything like that. If you can't get your ex out of your head, it's because you're still looking at your ex as something or someone that you thought they were, okay? That's the problem, because you don't have enough experience to really understand people and see them for who they were and why it didn't work out. So what I'm trying to say is this, you guys, I know it's a little bit deep, but once you understand the different types of people in this world, you will understand your past relationships, and you will understand why your past relationships didn't work out. That comes with experience, okay? But this is what I'm telling you. You have to be able to analyze people and understand the kind of cat you're dealing with. And if you know the kind of cat you're dealing with, then you're going to know, I can I can go somewhere with this person. I can't go somewhere with this person. This is why my relationship didn't work out, because I was dealing with this type of person. Maybe you're dealing with somebody who doesn't know how to love, okay? Maybe they never saw love in their life. Maybe they grew up in a household where their parents never loved each other, or there was fighting, or there was abuse or something, and they don't know what love is. This is what I'm telling you, okay? You got to look at these people with a critical eye and analyze and get in their head. And once you get in their head, you're going to see why they do what they do, all right? But it's not so much about what they do. It's about you recognizing it. It's about you seeing why you miss your ex, why you're hurting so bad, because you're missing a part of that relationship that has taken you over, all right? And you have to kind of push it back and not make it so, so big that you can't see it for what it really was. So I hope that helps you. And if it does, please hit the subscribe button and please share, and have a great day. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz. If you have a dating or relationship question, or you need an opinion on something, go to the link in the bio and ask a question and get a personalized video sent back to you. It's in the Linktree/TheGameExposed, and you could ask a question and get a personalized video confidentially sent to you, answering your question. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz, and I want to tell you about my 2 books on Amazon. The first book is Regain Your Power. It's all about power and relationship. Who has the power in the relationship? And it goes into all of that, okay? The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time, okay? Check it out. It gives you a lot of good clues as to whether you're with somebody who's a real one or somebody who's just going to waste your time. You could read them both with Kindle's free trial membership. So check it out. Link is in the podcast description.